Hello, my name is Rahman. I'm the member of the team Oddish, and our topic is global inflation and cost of living around the world. So today we know that there are many topics discussed on news channels such as economy, politics, businesses, etc. But many of them do not have direct relation to us or any at all, while the topic about economy does. So in our project, we aim to understand the key force of the economy, that is people, and how it can have an impact on it. The question was asked like how can people's emotions cause inflation and the rise of cost of living. Being able to understand it, one's financial literacy can be improved since money flows by the will of consumer. So the motivation of that question, global inflation rate, we took historical global inflation rate in order to uh, demonstrate that question. In so Let's take an example period between 2020 and 2021. What was the major cause between the three periods? So you all know that these periods is pandemic times. So we took chart of anxiety disorder and made the depressive disorder rate before and during pandemic. Uh, Let me show you. As you can see, uh, before the blue color, before pandemic and during the pandemic has a huge difference. Both genders and the next chart, of course, shows the age distribution of that disorder rate. So what we can try to say is that, interestingly, the price of food in that time period, matched with the inflation rate of that food price inflation, and we think that it's not coincidence. Why we think like that? Well, because of that conclusions we made, fear of death and health issues of people increased buyers' demand for food, which has a pattern like buy more and stay longer. Of course, in the short run, consumers are very satisfied and can be happy, but businesses were hurt uh, too bad, and trying to supply products to consumers in such a short period result in high production costs, which also has a high prices. So how about other global inflation rate? For example, inflation rate before Great Recession. You can see there is a huge inflation rate here. What about that? So actually, there was no any kind of fear or worry of death or health issues. Instead, there was too much happiness and excitement at that time, since the economy was performing very well in full capacity. People were very happy, and we can see that how home price market in the United States going high means that people were practicing trading of real estate for a long time, but practicing too much time and in higher prices up until it became just unbelievable rate price. uh, People couldn't afford to buy it anymore, and which result in great recession, of course. So what we mean by that is uh, being too optimistic, being too happy and excited based on current economical state made people buy and sell without even thinking about the risks involved, which means human emotion could impact on that global inflation. We talk about one human, but multiplying it with 2 million, if not billion, it already have a huge force on global inflation and also on recession as well. So that was our major part of our project. Thanks for the listening.
Hi, my name is Ömer. My task in the project was to research global inflation, European inflation, and Turkey inflation, and to make the necessary coding about these topics. I used some dataset from Google Trends, World Bank, and Eurostat. In this picture, you can see the comparison table of countries' inflation rate. This data is taken from Google Trends. It can be seen that inflation was very high between 1980 and 2000. The reason for this may be the economic crisis experienced in those years. This graph shows the missing values in Google Trends dataset. In 2020, almost all the data is missing. However, that year is very important because it is the year when the COVID pandemic began. I used the linear regression method with the mean annual inflation rate of all countries, and this is the result. According to linear regression method, the inflation rate will increase continuously after 2020. The world map shows the inflation rate by year, and in 2019 you can see the Sudan has most inflation rate, and also Turkey has more inflation rate than most countries. I also use the World Bank data set that is about global inflation rates. This data set also has 2020 and 2021 values, and there are some differences by Google Trends. For example, in 1985 and 1987 inflation rate is very different. This is the chart of annual inflation rates by year and with polynomial regression line. The degree is 2. I think the result of second degree polynomial regression is incorrect because of some economical crisis. When we predict the inflation rates between the years 2021 and 21-23 with polynomial regression, it seems that they rapidly decelerate to negative values. However, when we increase the degree, the result change. In the example, I used 90th degree polynomial regression. I think the prediction result is more accurate. I also use support vector regression for this example. Support vector regression is also a supervised learning algorithm that is used to predict the rate values. This is the prediction result for the support vector regression. And also in this table, the inflation rates of European countries according to the years are shown. According to this table, it can be seen that Turkey has had higher inflation rate than other countries in general between these years. According to it can be said that Turkey has big inflation problem compared to other European countries.